Hi students, this is Irene. You are learning working with Python functions. In this part 11 video, you will learn scope of variables, resolving scope of a name. Name resolution, resolving scope of a name. When a variable is accessed from within a program or function, Python follows name resolution rule, also known as LEGB rule. To follow LEGB rules, we must know about namespaces. First, let us look at what name is. Name is also called as identifier. It is just a name given to objects like variables, function names and class names, etc. Now let us see what is a namespace. A namespace is a container where names are mapped to objects. They are used to avoid confusions in cases where same name exists in different namespaces. The namespaces are created by modules, functions, classes, etc. The available namespaces are local namespace, enclosing namespace, global namespace and built-in namespaces. A local namespace is created when a function is called or when a block is created with all the names defined in it. When a function is defined inside another function, it creates an enclosed namespace. Its lifetime is same as the local namespace. Global namespace belong to the Python script or the main segment of the Python program. Global namespaces are created when the execution of the main program starts and available throughout the program run. Built-in namespaces are created when we start Python interpreter and exists as long as the interpreter runs. And also each module creates its own namespaces, so the namespaces are isolated. Now let us see the LGB rules. For every name reference, Python does the following to resolve it. First, it checks within the local environment or local namespace if it has a variable with the same name. If yes, Python uses its value. If not, then moves to step 2. So the first place to be checked for the availability of the variables or names are the local namespaces. You can see in the LGB rule, here L stands first. So L stands for local environment or local namespace. E stands for enclosing environment or enclosing namespace. G stands for global environment or global namespace, and B stands for built-in environment or built-in namespace. So the first place to be checked for the availability of the names are, the first one, L stands for local namespace. If the variable or name is not available in the local namespace, Python goes to step 2, that is to the enclosing namespace. Now Python checks the enclosing environment. If yes, Python uses its value. If the variable is not found in the current environment, it moves to step 3. So the second place to be checked for the availability of the variable or name is enclosing namespace. In the LEGB rule, the second one, that is enclosing namespace or enclosing environment. If the variable or name is not found in local namespace and enclosing namespace, Python goes to step 3, that is to the local namespace. Now Python checks the global environment whether there is a variable with the same name. If yes, Python uses its value. If not, then it moves to step 4. So the third place to be checked for the availability of the variable or name is global namespace. In the LEGB rule, the third letter G stands for global environment or global namespace. If the variable or name is not found in local namespace, enclosing namespace and global namespace, Python goes to step 4, that is to the built-in namespace. Now Python checks its built-in environment. If there is a variable with the same name, Python uses its value. Otherwise, Python would report an error because the variable or name is not available in any of these namespaces. That's why it reports an error. So in this way, Python resolves the scope of the name by first checking in local namespace, second in enclosing namespace, and third in global namespace, and fourth in built-in namespace. So it checks for the variable one by one and if it is found, it uses its value. If it is not found, it reports an error. LEGB means checking in the order of local, enclosing, global and built-in environments to resolve a name reference. Let us see some examples to understand scope resolution. Case 1. Variable in global scope but not in local scope. Let us consider this Python program to understand this concept. This program starts with a function definition and it has 3 top level statements. These top level statements are in the main segment of this program. Python's execution starts from this first top level statement because function header is also a top level statement. But when Python's interpreter executes this top level statement, it omits its body. Until this function is called, these statements will not be executed. So program's execution goes to the next top level statement which is available in the main segment. When the first top level statement of the main segment is executed, the global environment for this program will be created. This statement receives the integer input and assigns to the variable num1. This num1 is not inside any of the block or function. So this is a global variable. So in the global environment, num1 will be created and will be referencing the value 5 which was received as an integer input. And the next statement is num2 equal to int input enter number 2. This also receives the integer input and assigns to the variable num2. Even num2 is not inside any of the block or function. So this is a global variable. In the global environment, num2 is created and it is referencing the value 6 which was received as an integer input. The next statement is a print statement. It has a function call in it. So program's execution jumps from this statement to the function definition of calsum, and also it carries the values of num1 and num2 to the parameters x and y. So when this calsum function was called, the local environment for this calsum function is created and the parameters x and y will be referencing the values 5 and 6 which was referenced by num1 and num2. So the next statement to be executed is statement 1 of this calsum function, which is s equal to x plus y. So when this statement is executed, Python will check for the availability of this x and y in the local environment. The variables x and y are available. So for that expression x plus y, 5 plus 6 will be used and the local variable s will be created in the local environment and will be referencing the value 11 which was calculated by x plus y. So the next statement to be executed is the print statement. This print statement prints the value of variable num1. So now Python will check the availability of num1 in the local environment. In the local environment we have only x, y and s. We do not have any variable as num1. So num1 is not found in the local environment. So next Python will check in the enclosing environment, but we do not have any enclosing environment for this calsum function. So next Python will check in the global environment. In the global environment we have found the variable num1. So in place of this num1, value 5 will be used from the global environment. So this print statement will print the value 5 in the output screen which was taken from the global variable. Now the next statement to be executed is this return statement. When this return statement is encountered, the function's execution gets over. Also the value of s will be just passed to the function call statement where from it was called. Now can you see the value of s is 11. So this value 11 will be substituted in place of this calsum function when this function's execution gets over. Also this return statement, it removes the local environment from the memory of the computer. So when this return statement is executed, the local environment has been removed from here, as well as the value s will be substituted in place. The value of s was 11. So when this print statement is executed, it will print sum is 11. So you can see the output sum is 11. So this is the flow of execution and also how Python checks for the variables in the local environment first and in the global environment. So case 1, variable in global scope but not in local scope. So the variable num1, it was searched first in the local environment, it was not found. So it was checked in the global environment and it was found in the global environment and it was used in place of this print statement. Case 2. Variable neither in local scope nor in global scope. Let us see what happens if the variable is not in local scope or in global scope through this sample Python program. This program starts with the function definition. As this function header is a first top level statement, let us begin our execution from this. When Python's interpreter executes this function header, it omits the body of this function. So the program's execution goes to the next top level statement, which is a function call. So program's execution jumps from this function call to its function definition greet. This function definition in its body, it has a print statement. So it prints a message welcome and it has a variable called name. So now Python will check the availability of name inside the local environment, but here there is no variable called name available in the local environment. So now Python will check in the enclosing environment. We do not have any enclosing environment for this greet function. So the next place to be checked is the global environment. In the global environment also, we do not have any variable called name. So now Python will report an error as name is neither in local nor in global environment. The error will be reported by Python. Case 3. Same variable name in local scope as well as in global scope. Let us see what happens when same variable name is in local scope as well as in global scope through this Python program. Now, if inside a function, a value is assigned to a name which is already there in the higher level scope, Python won't use this higher level scope variable because it is an assignment statement, and assignment statement creates a variable by default in its current environment. Now let us evaluate this program line by line to understand the scope resolution of a name. Now the first statement is a function header, which is also a top level statement. Python's execution starts from the first top level statement. So when Python's interpreter executes this function header, it omits its function body. Until this function is called, these statements will not be executed. Now the next statement to be executed is num1 equal to 30. Here value 30 is assigned to the variable num1. Num1 is not inside any block or function, so this is a global variable. So global environment will be created with the global variable num1 and it will be referencing the value 30. The next statement to be executed is the print statement, which prints the value of the variable num1. Now the value of variable num1 is 30. So 30 will be printed for this print statement in the output as this. The next statement to be executed is the function call find1. So when this function call is encountered, Python's execution jumps from this statement to the function definition find1. Here the first statement of this function has to be executed. The first statement is num1 equal to 20. Num1 becomes a local variable as it is available inside this function. So the local environment for find1 will be created with the local variable num1 and it will be referencing the value 20. You can see here the local environment is created and local variable num1 is referencing the value 20. So this statement will create a local variable with the name num1 and it won't refer to the num1 of main program. This num1 is different from this num1. Now the next statement to be executed is print statement. This print statement prints the value of num1. So now Python will check for num1 according to the LEGB rule first in the local environment. In the local environment, num1 is available and also it is referencing the value 20. So for this print statement, this value 20 will be printed as an output. So now this function's execution gets over by the end of this last print statement of this function. So when this function's execution gets over, the local environment of find1 will be removed from the memory and also the program's execution jumps to the statement following the function call statement as it is not returning any value. So after printing the value 20, the program's execution goes to the statement following the function call. So the local environment has been removed from this place. The next statement to be executed is print num1. Here num1's value has to be printed. Num1's value is 30 in the global environment. So this num1 will be printing the value 30 as an output. So from this example we understand that local variable created with the same name as that of global variable hides the global variable, because when here the print statement printed the variable num1, it has printed the value 20 which was available in the local environment, because according to the LEGB rule, first Python checks in the local environment. So when it has checked in the local environment, the value 20 was available. So it has not used the global variable 30. It has used the local variable first in the local environment. So the local variable has the global variable with the same name. To use the global variable inside local scope. If we wanted to assign some value to the global variable without creating any local variable inside a function, then what we have to do? This is because if we assign any value to a name, Python will create a local variable by the same name inside the function. For this kind of problem, Python makes available global statement. So, to tell a function that for a particular name, do not create a local variable but use global variable instead, the syntax is global variable name. Note, a global statement is a declaration which holds for the entire current code block. It means that the listed identifiers are part of the global namespace or global environment. I repeat, a global statement is a declaration which holds for the entire current code block. It means that the listed identifiers are part of the global namespace or global environment. To use the global variable inside local scope. Now let us consider this Python program to understand the use of global variable inside local scope. Let us start the execution from this first top level statement, which is the function header. When Python's interpreter executes this function header, it omits its body. Until this function is called, these statements will not be executed. So the next statement to be executed is num1 equal to 30. Here value 30 is assigned to the variable num1. Num1 is in the main segment. Also it is not available inside any of the block or function. So this is a global variable. So the global environment is created with the global variable num1 and it is referencing the value 30. The next statement to be executed is the print statement, which prints the value of num1. The value of variable num1 is 30. So in the output, value 30 will be printed. The next statement to be executed is find1 function call. When a function call is encountered in a program, program's execution jumps from this statement to the function definition. So the local environment for find1 function is created here. Now this function's first statement will be executed, which is global num1. This global keyword indicates not to create a local variable with the name num1, rather use global variable num1. So this global keyword, it indicates to create a global variable num1, not to create a local variable. So let us go to the next statement, which is num1 equal to 20. Here this variable becomes a global variable. Already the global variable was referencing the value 30. When we are assigning a value, new value 20 to the global variable, the old value will not be referenced anymore and the new value 20 will be referenced by num1. So the next statement to be executed is the print statement. Now the print statement, it checks for its availability of num1 in the local environment, because as it is available in the local scope. In the local environment, variable num1 is not available, so it will be checking in the global environment. In the global environment, num1 is available and which is referencing to the value 20. So now this print statement will print the value 20 as an output. By the end of this print statement, the function's execution comes to an end. So the local environment for this find1 function will be removed and the program's execution jumps from this statement to the print statement following the function call, as it is not returning any value. So now the local environment has been removed and the execution of this function shifted from this statement to the statement following the function call, as it is not returning any value. So now this print statement has to print the value of num1. Now the value of num1 is here in the global environment, it is referencing to the value 20. So for this statement, print statement, the value 20 will be printed as a output here. So from this example, we understand that the global keyword, it creates a global variable. It is not creating any local variable, and changes in the global variable are made available throughout the program. I repeat, the global keyword changes the local environment's local variable into the global variable, and changes made in this global variable are reflected throughout the program. Note, the global statement cannot be reverted in a program run. One should avoid using global statement in a Python program. Although global variables can be accessed through local scope, but it is not a good programming practice. So keep global variables global and local variables local. In this part 11 video, you have learned name resolution rule LEGB to resolve the scope of a name, sample Python program 1 to explain what happens when a variable is in global scope but not in local scope, sample Python program 2 to explain what happens when variable is neither in local scope nor in global scope, sample Python program 3 to explain what happens when same variable name is in local scope and global scope, and sample Python program 4 to explain the global statement. Coming up next, mutable or immutable properties of parse data objects, video part 12.